If you're a movie buff, and even if you're not, I have an interesting question for you. Did you ever confuse actor Sterling Holloway with actor Stanley Holloway? Well, we're going to try to get them straightened out in your and our minds once and for all. With us at Monitor now is a man, all I can say is I am very happy he's here because I have seen him in many, many of his pictures and heard his voice, and he's been one of my favorites for a long time. It is Sterling Holloway. He's in town now for the 50th anniversary Walt Disney Film Retrospective. Mr. Holloway, may I call you Sterling, sir?
I wish you would, please, and not Stanley.
Okay. No, not Stanley, whatever. All right, let's get right into that. Now, you said not to call you Stanley, and there's Sterling Holloway, there's Stanley Holloway. Have you been confused often? Or
Sterling Hayden.
Sterling Hayden.
And Robert Sterling.
Yeah.
And Ford Sterling, but you wouldn't remember that.
Well, I do remember Ford
Do you?
Sterling. I do indeed.
Yeah.
But you do get confused with all these people.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Time Magazine did well by you once in Stanley's name, did they not?
Oh, they certainly did. And the poor guy, it was a great picture, and he did a wonderful part.
Yeah.
But the magazine said Sterling Holloway was great in this particular role.
And we worked at it.
And he worked at it, and I got the credit.
You're in town now for the Disney Retrospective. How do you figure into that one?
Well, I've been in so many Disney films. And they're doing a great many of them now at Lincoln Center.
Yeah, and you did a lot of voiceover.
And I did a lot of voices, and I guess they wanted me to come back to see what the body looked like.
Maybe. That's pretty good. Now, you're doing these voiceovers, for anybody who might not know it, there'll be a cartoon character on the screen. The voice has to be done by somebody, the actual sound. And Sterling has done many, I guess, more than you can remember.
Yeah, well, let's see. I was Flower the skunk in Bambi, and I was a stork in Dumbo, and I was a cat in Alice in Wonderland, and they all sound exactly the same. There's nothing much I can do about the voice.
No, but the voice fits so many things. You did. I remember with pleasure. Peter and the Wolf, did you not?
Yeah, I did that. I was the first one to do that in this country.
You were, and it was a marvelous. Now, you were in Hollywood during the golden years. Were you in pictures for talkies?
No.
I didn't think.
I think the first talkie I ever did was with Marlene Dietrich. It was called The Blonde Venus, and I wrote to my mother that I was being in a picture called The Blonde Venus, and she thought I was going to be the star.
It turned out Marlene Dietrich. During those golden years we were talking about in Hollywood, what studio had you under contract?
Well, none, actually. I freelanced at the time, Bill, but the only contract I ever signed was one with Fox, I think it was, to do 6 Will Rogers pictures. Just to be in those pictures with him.
What'd you do?
Let's see. One called Doubting Thomas, and, I don't remember the name.
I don't blame you. All the pictures you've done. Do you have a favorite picture you did of all of those?
Well, there's a picture that every time anybody will come up to me and say, I saw you in a picture, I know exactly what they're going to say. It was the only serious part I ever did in a picture called Hell Below. And that was at MGM. And I did, if I must say so myself, and forgive me, Stanley, I did a beautiful dying scene. Oh, I died beautifully in it. But that's the one, Bill, that they were.
Do you watch television and see yourself pop up once in a while?
No.
You don't?
No.
Did you have an aversion to watching yourself on the screen?
Yes.
Many actors, not many.
That was one reason I never signed a contract when I said I would rather be someplace else. I did a test, and I didn't hear from this test for a long time. And finally, I called, and then the man said, well, I have to tell you this. And he didn't say, well, you're too short for what we want, or too dark, or whatever. He said, your face is too repulsive. He says, you'll never make it in movies.
Do you think that the very fact that your original test got you that sort of slap, it has to be called that, is that why you didn't want to watch yourself? Is it that you thought you didn't do as well as you'd like to do, or that you weren't doing what you wanted to do?
Well, well, both, a little of both, but I know that after the man told me this, I went out, I swallowed twice and went outside the gate. And as I was leaving, the 4 Marx brothers were coming in to go to work. And I counted them off one by one as they went in, and I thought, maybe I still have got a chance at this, you know?
You didn't have any more repulsive a face than they had.
That's right.
We're talking with Sterling Holloway, as you know, if you're a peer of mine and enjoying it immensely. I wonder if Mr. Holloway will stay with us, and we'll be back in a while to
I'll be glad to.
Okay, meantime, you're on the monitor feature. Bill Cullen again, and we're back at Monitor with our guest, Sterling Holloway. Sterling, unlike so many of the other Hollywood-based movie stars, you don't seem to receive much publicity throughout the years. Why do you think that is?
I guess I'm just shy.
No, you are. You certainly... hey, that's it. Now, you've always been shy. You've never played anything, most of your parts, but a shy person.
That's true.
Now, are you shy?
Yes.
Are you playing yourself?
Yes, I think so.
And you always have?
Yep. That's right. There's nothing much I can do about the voice, as we said before. And there's not too much I can do about the body, except just put it to bed.
I get the impression that you do not have a large ego. Am I right there?
Well,
I mean, you don't exude confidence. You're not overconfident. Let's put it that way.
That's right.
You're not. You're willing to see faults of your own.
I think I'm a great worrier.
You know, it's like talking into a mirror. So am I. I worry a lot, but I think it's fun to worry, don't you?
Well, I don't know any other way. So it's fun for me.
I'm worried about that, too. What do you do for relaxation, Sterling?
Worry. No,
I limped into that one.
No, I read a lot, and lately I've been collecting contemporary art. And I built a house for my art.
This is a house in Laguna?
In Laguna, yeah.
On the beach, I did.
No, it's high up on top of a mountain.
Oh.
And I have even ceramic doors. I had a sculptor do the doors. They weigh over 1,000 pounds each.
Sounds like a fabulous place.
So it's kind of hard to get into. And maybe hard to get out of. And maybe that's one reason I don't leave too often.
But you do have the phone. If it rings and somebody has a part for you, you're ready to go.
That's right.
With all the people you worked with through all the years, do you have anyone that is the most memorable without hurting the feelings of perhaps some of the others?
Well, it was a great pleasure to work with Spencer Tracy. We went to school together, as a matter of fact. We went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts to learn to be actors together.
Honestly?
We were we were in the same class. And when I went to Hollywood, I happened to be in a picture that he was in, and I think he was a great actor.
I think
because he wasn't an actor, really.
No.
He was just it.
Yes, he was a powerful individual. The part he played was powerful. He did what you do. Now, you're poles apart as far as the character that you present on the screen, but you actually play yourself, which is a very difficult role to play for anybody. You play yourself and sort of embellish around your own personality. Spencer Tracy did that, did he not?
Yes, I think so.
No, but with Spencer Tracy.
As a matter of fact, I was saying how stage-struck I am, and in the summers I like to go up to Seattle or Sacramento. Not to, I'll be scared of New York now, I think. But to do a play. And I've been going up so many years now that they just put my picture in the paper and say he's here. They don't even say the name of the play.
That's marvelous. Before I go, I so far haven't put you on the hook, but I think it's about time. Spencer Tracy was one of the most impressive actors you ever worked with. I think we can safely say he was the most impressive in your estimation.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Now, today's stars, the kids you see in today's movies, there's no more big studio contracts. There's no more Hollywood, really, in that sense, where there still are motion pictures, but not the same. Of all the big names today, current stars, do you think any of those compare with the ones you worked with, Spencer Tracy?
What about Ben? And Ben the Rat, was it Willard or Ben the Rat?
You're copying a plea, Mr. Holloway. You're copying a plea. We've been talking with Sterling Holloway, a man whom I admired for many years, who's in town in New York now for the Walt Disney Film Retrospective, and was kind enough to come here and talk with us. Mr. Holloway, I want to say it again. I am a fan of yours, and it's been a real pleasure just having this opportunity to listen to you.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.